Shirex's run another one.
I never went back.
What do you think is the most that you ever made in a night dancing?
Oh my gosh. The most?
Like, have you danced in the States?
Yeah.
So,
a
you know,
lot.
in the States, it gets crazier.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think now. Like to one of those crazy nights.
Yeah.
Like,
and
there's
before
nights-
before you answer that, sorry to cut you off, but before you answer that, what clubs have you performed at in the States?
Oh, many. In the States, the one that I'm known for dancing the most, King of Diamonds, of course. That's where like where I met Black China from.
Mm-hmm.
And all the big strippers, they all work there. At that time when I was working there, I was the only Canadian girl working there at that club at that time.
Oh.
So they would call me Toronto, even though my name was Paris. They would call me Toronto. But yeah, there. V Live. I worked at V Lives across the States. There's so much clubs. I've worked at. Remembering the names is hard. I could just remember the cities. I worked at Stadium in DC.
Okay.
Hard Bodies in Detroit. Tootsie's in Florida. Spearmint Rhino in Vegas.
Wow.
Like the list just goes on.
Yeah. So out of all of those
Yeah.
different places, right, and then the Canadian spots, right,
Yeah.
what's the most that you ever made in a night dancing?
Like there's nights I made over 10,000 easy.
Wow.
Just dancing. I think like the most I made dancing maybe like 15,000 US.
Wow.
And it's like when they have the huge events and the guys they're balling out, they're throwing the money up.
Yeah.
Like decent. That's really good. Actually, no. I had this one customer. This one customer before, and it was here in Canada too. And he tipped me 15. I forgot.
Wow.
15K.
That's
tipped.
crazy.
Just tipped. There was one time that ever happened to me, but like I don't even want to say the guy's name because he's like super big. He's a billionaire.
Right.
But when he tipped me, he tipped the waitress 10,000. Just the waitress serving, he tipped her 10,000.
That's crazy.
And then he gave me 15.
Wow.
And that was just like that was crazy. Super crazy.
Wow. Okay, so let's switch gears for a quick second.
Yeah.
We're talking all these thousands and thousands, but you have like 300 plus thousand followers on Instagram. How did that start happening?
Oh, well, when Instagram wasn't that popular, like, you know, it was kind of like easier. Like, and for girls, like sexy girls, it's easy. Post a pic. Ooh, they like it. Ooh, they follow because you're sexy. That like helped posting my explicit photos and videos because I used to have a lot. I actually cleaned it up a little bit just because I'm like, hey, what was I thinking? Like I just posted all this crazy shit. Thirst traps everywhere. But from that, and then just from I did a World Star video that gave me a lot of followers after I released that on World Star. I think it has like 4 million views now or something like that for my video.
The World Star Eye Candy?
Yeah,
Wow.
I got a lot of followers when that was released, thanks to them. And then also just having celebrity friends on social media, their followers following me back, and
for sure,
and stuff like that. Blogs and stuff posting me, and other stuff.
And we're definitely going to be touching on all different subjects here, right?
Yeah.
Before we do that, tell me about growing up life. Like, what part of the city do you represent as far as the six?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I don't necessarily rep a hood, but I grew up in Jane and Falstaff.
Okay.
You know, growing up as a kid, I grew up in Jane and Falstaff. I lived in the middle building. There was 3 buildings. I grew up on the 2nd floor in Jane and Falstaff. I went to school at up on Jane and Eglinton up there, called Roseland Public School as a kid. I went there as a kid. Growing up, it was a rough neighborhood that time, you know, and there was just a lot of gang violence and stuff like that going on. So I was really my mom was really reserved with me and my sister. We were always indoor. I never had the luxury of riding a bike outside, going to the park. Like, we were always indoor, not even trick-or-treating, nothing.
Right.
We're just always indoor. The only time I was able to step out and have fun is if I'm going to go visit my cousins or something, or stay at my uncle's house somewhere in a better area in Toronto, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I grew up. And then right before high school, I moved to Mississauga.
Okay.
And then I went to high school in Mississauga.
Dope. Give me a fond memory from back in those times.
From when I was a kid?
Yeah.
I remember I begged my mom for a bike. She got me a bike. I wasn't allowed to ride it outside, so I had to ride it in the hallway. So I was riding my bike up and down every day. I'd be like, oh, can I ride my bike? Okay, I'll go in the hallway, ride it up and down.
Yeah.
And, you know, one day I was so smart that I decided to go in the hallway with my socks on. And, you know, these are hood buildings. I'm running up, kids are running up. I put my socks on, I got on my bike, and I started riding it. Then I get off my bike, and I remember I was going to chase my sister down the hallway. As soon as I get up, boom, I step in a big chunk of glass in the hallway. There was a broken beer bottle in the hallway. And I stepped it. I started screaming. So loud. My mom ran out. She had to pick me up, then carry me back into the bedroom. And then she pulled out the big chunk of glass out of my foot. Oh my God. It was I will never forget that. She pulled out the glass. And then after that, she was like, oh, all your privileges in the hallway are over. You guys are not allowed to play in the hallway anymore. Wow. And that was for months until she was like, okay, you guys can go back.
Yeah.
But it took a long time for my foot to heal. And it was just, I lost all my privileges.
Wow.
It sucked.
And you're growing up in that Falstaff area, right?
Yeah.
As you started getting older, because as you mentioned before, that's a crazy area.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of different things going on and stuff like that. Were you getting into a lot of stuff out there, or you were able to get away from that stuff?
I was so reserved. My mom wouldn't let us do nothing. You know, I wasn't able to do nothing. I was just always indoor. Only when I go to school or go to my friend's house if I'm allowed to. And that was that. I seen everything that went around in the whole area. There was shootings, killings, all this stuff going on, drug dealing. My mom just was scared that her 2 daughters, because I have 1 sister, would fall into that. So as soon as she could, she moved us out of that area right before high school, and then I went to high school in Mississauga.
Okay. So as a quote unquote, right, hood chick, right?
Hood chick,
because you're coming from Falstaff, right?
Yeah.
Now
everybody gets shocked. They're like, "Oh my God, I thought you were a suburbs chick."
Well, the thing is, you went to Saga, right?
Yeah.
That must have been a culture shock.
Super culture shock. I literally for that time hated my mom for moving me out, which made no sense because it's I'm living in a building with cockroach and mice.
Yeah.
And I'm going to a big fancy house in Mississauga now, and I'm not happy because I don't want to lose all my friends now. And you know, how am I going to adapt to make new friends?
Yeah.
And, you know, now we come to the city. I don't know nobody. I don't have no friends, no nothing, and I got a bike now that I could actually ride outside.
Yeah.
It was a huge difference. I was allowed to play outside. I was allowed to do stuff. Something I wasn't even able to do living in Falstaff. So it was a huge change. But I don't know. It was a huge change. Something for me to just adapt to. So you know.
How did the kids take to you over there, as being somebody that you're coming? You probably are a little bit more rough around the edges those times too, no?
Yeah, right? I was. Yeah, I mean, I did make friends fast down there, but as much as I like made friends in high school, there was a lot of people that didn't like me, you know, and I'm used to that, you know. I wasn't the most popular kid in school or nothing like that. I was very like low key to myself, very reserved, had 1-2 friends. But, you know, I kind of like strayed away after a while because, you know, a lot of things happened in high school. And then, yeah, like grade 10, I ended up, right before grade 11, I ended up dropping out of high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
What prompted that?
Having my son. I got pregnant with a boyfriend, with my first boyfriend.
Okay.
When I was in grade 10. And, yeah, to make a long story short, I decided to keep my child, and I ended up dropping out of school because I was just scared of all the criticism everybody would make upon me, you know? So I just left school, tried to do homeschooling, and then after that I gave up. I was like, fuck this shit.
Okay. So then as you started, like, you transitioned, you left high school, okay?
Yeah.
You got to this point where you got super popular all over the place, okay?
Yeah.
So how did you get into the hip hop world in the first place? Like before doing music, because I know you're always, were you always doing music this whole time?
As a hobby before I was doing music, but it wasn't serious. It was nothing serious. It was just like little songs here and there.
Yeah.
Nothing serious, you know.
Yeah. So, okay. You said at some point you started getting into dancing and stuff like that. Okay. Give me the first experience when you first walked into the club for the first time to work.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna die. Okay. So before even the dancing, like I was already on the club scene, like from when I was like 18. Like I used to do, like, even before the dancing, I was doing like all age parties and stuff. I was promoter. Like, I did like club promotions for events and stuff.
Dope.
And then I was doing the modeling stuff like on the side. So I was already kind of like on the scene per se, right? And then as for the dancing, oh God, that takes like a long story. The reason why I even started dancing in the first place is because I have my son, you know, I need to take care of my son. I need to make money. I have to feed him. I have to do, like, these are responsibilities a mother has. And me as a single mother, I can't do everything on my own. I needed extra means.
Yeah.
That time I was working a regular 9-to-5 job in the mall when I was about 19 years old. I was working at Marciano.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard of Marciano.
Yeah. Guess.
Guess at Eden Center. I worked there, and it was Boxing Day. And my manager was pissing me the fuck off, and she was just being a bitch to me. And I was just like, I'm done. I quit.
Yeah.
I quit. I leave because she tried to give me some like garbage job. And I'm a sales person. Like, I'm not a garbage man, right? So I was like, fuck this. I ain't taking out the trash. I left. I quit. I went back home. And I just said, like, it just hit me. I'm like, I'm going to be a stripper. Fuck this shit. I need to make my own money. I'm going to be a stripper.
Right.
And then I Googled stripper, looked and seen where I could strip. And then I'm like, I found it. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go somewhere far away from home. Nobody will find me.
Right.
So I go to London, Ontario.
Wow. You went far.
I went to London, Ontario at House in Lancaster at that time. So I take a Greyhound bus. This is a true story. I take the Greyhound bus. I get there. I literally have like $50 like in my name. Like, so I get there now and I go and I say, hi, I want to like work here. I want to like, how can I work here?
Yeah.
And they're like, are you looking to bartend? Are you looking to be a waitress? I'm like, no, I'm looking to be a stripper. And they're like, okay, well, all you need is like $20, an outfit, and a piece of ID. I'm like, really? I ain't had no outfit. I went to Walmart and got some sort of lingerie down the street. Okay. And I came back. I had like $50. I bought some for like $20, $30 there. Came back, gave him $20. And I worked my first night the same day. And that night I was so nervous. I just remember sitting down for a good hour, evaluating what everybody else is doing. I see some girl on the stage doing whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna mimic whatever she's doing.
Right.
Gotta be a piece of cake. A guy is throwing dollar bills. I want to go up, right? So finally, I get my chance. I go up. I'm nervous as hell, but as the first song goes, I get more into it.
Right.
And then some like old man came to the stage and he was like, gave me a tip. So that boosted me to go harder. I'm like, hey, I got $10. Like, I'm gonna make it do what it do right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Shit, I'm making money. Like, I'm making more money than Marciano. So I do that. Then the same customer that tips me on the stage takes me to the back for a dance. I didn't even know where the back was. I had to ask him, like, he's like, can I take you for a dance? I'm like, take me where? Wow. He's like, over there. I'm like, okay, $20. Okay, we go. He dances. I must have danced like 3 songs, as I remember. I made $60 plus I got the $10 tip. I'm like, hey, this is $70. I'm just getting started. This is more money than
That's
this is gonna be more money than my paycheck by the end of the night.
Yeah.
By the end of the night, I made like $300-$400 around that. I was like, I thought I hit the jackpot.
Right.
I was throwing up money, and and the way that this club was like, they had a hotel above the club, so it was like, okay, I'm gonna spend the weekend, so I paid like $40. I could stay in one of the rooms as a dancer upstairs.
Right.
So by the time I pay the fee, I give them the $40. I go upstairs. I'm Gucci. And I got like almost like $300 profit. And I'm like, oh, my paychecks are usually like $800 every 2 weeks.
Right.
And I made like half of that in one night. I never went back.
So let's get to a segment that's called Rapid Fire. Okay. Top 3 rappers, dead or alive.
Rapid fire? What do I have to do?
Well, you don't have to answer them super quick.
Dead or alive?
Yeah, just top 3 rappers that you could think of, dead or alive, that you were influenced by, that you liked a lot.
I love Lil' Kim. Missy Elliott, who influenced me a lot. I love Missy Elliott. And I love Lil' Kim. And who else do I love? There's so much choices. Well, I guess I'm going to give three ladies. Lauryn Hill.
Ooh.
The choices are so tough. I really love Missy Elliott, though. Lauryn Hill and Lil' Kim.
Okay. Dope. If you were on a deserted island and you could only keep 3 albums with you, what would they be?
3 albums.
Doesn't have to be just hip hop. Anything.
Maybe some Lauryn Hill. Some. I do like Tupac too. I don't know. Why can't it just be like a mixed playlist?
The cheat code. The mixed
Why can't
playlist.
it be like those mixed CDs that you make back in the day with like all your favorite hits?
I think Paris found the cheat code to the deserted island question right there. You know what? Okay.
I get a pass.
You get a pass with that one.
Like
there.
you get an album and then it's like you like 3 songs off of it and then the rest you're like,
You're gonna save them all in MP3 form so that you can get like 100 songs on it. On
it, like that'll be good.
Okay. Beer or liquor?
Liquor. I don't drink beer. I'm a lady.
Liquor of choice.
Liquor of choice, Hennessy. Cognac.
Okay. Give me your craziest drunk story.
Oh, my birthday. Oh, I got so loaded. Like, I don't remember how many years ago. I just remember getting so loaded that I passed out. I passed out in the club. I forget the club's name. I remember it was downtown on Peter Street. I passed out. My best friend, Brandon. Shout out Brandon because I love him to pieces. And he's been my best friend since high school in Mississauga. So all my girls were there. My sister was there actually too. And I passed out. Brandon, I think he carried me. That time I had a Lincoln Navigator truck. And it wasn't my birthday. It was like around the holidays. I think it was someone else's birthday actually. Come to think of it. Yeah, because I remember it was winter time. My birthday's in summer, so no, that couldn't have been my birthday.
Yeah.
But I just remember I got lifted out. I couldn't drive my truck. Brandon hopped in the front of the seat of my truck. I was drunk. I puked on my fur coat.
Wow.
That, and it was a beautiful black fox fur jacket with a hoodie.
Ooh.
I puked on it. He brought me to some hotel. My sister, and they ended up putting me somehow. They got me in the bed,
Mm-hmm.
and I just remember Brandon peeling my eyelashes off. He peeled each of my eyelashes off, and I had a wig on. He took my wig. He put my wig to the side, and like they were gone. I woke up. I woke up wigless, no lashes on. I was in the bed. And then they call me and they're like, girl, are you okay? I'm like, where's my lashes? And they were just like, and then they just told me the whole story. I'm like, what happened? Like, where's my car? Where's my car? How did I get, like, I didn't, like, my car was gone, everything. I didn't, like, literally, that was the only time I ever blacked out.
Wow.
Worst. I never drank liquor like that after that again. Ever.
Wow.
Worst experience. But good, because I had solid people with me.
Good times.
But it was good times.
Nice. Last question in a rapid fire here.
Mm-hmm.
Drake, Tory, or Weeknd, if you had to choose one?
Drake.
Okay.
He's a sixth god.
The sixth god.
I had to take Drake.
Champagne Poppy.
Champagne Poppy.
Okay, so let's get to our wrap up here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tell me about, you were cast on this reality show called Six Series?
Only in the Six, yeah.
Only in the Six, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't do nothing and you guys want money because you won't invest money on body parts.
Even if Sophia tried to take off the West Bumble, who gives a what do you mean?
What was that all about? Like, what was that show?
It was something kind of similar to Love and Hip Hop.
Mm-hmm.
It had to do with, it's called Only in the Six. It was the story, like, it's an ongoing story about 6 people in the Six, and that all know each other, whether it's through music, through like anything like in the music industry,
Right.
and like that whole like scene, club scene, and like everybody just knew each other. Like, and if they didn't know each other, they like seen or met that person before, and then some people are not friends with each other, sparks fuse, things flies, you know, and it just kind of like, and then their stories about their life kind of intertwined with each other, so it was just kind of like Love and Hip Hop, right?
Yeah.
And they would put us in scenarios, like for instance, like a dinner that other people would be there, and then altercations happen and stuff, and everything's caught on camera, so it was pretty juicy.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it was pretty juicy. It was a pretty juicy series. I miss it.
Was there like real fights? Did you get into any fights?
Yeah, like real fights. Yeah, like not fist fights, like, but if it was to lead to that, then of course like security would like break us up. But I myself got in a verbal dispute with Sophia Body.
Okay.
And yeah, that was just like, I think she just did it like just to start it, just
Yeah.
you know. But it was just weird. It was just weird.
Yeah. And even like touching on Love and Hip Hop, like you were supposed to be on Love and Hip Hop, but then you weren't. What happened with that?
Well, initially when I went, initially when they called me and then offered me to come, I went down, and their whole, like, they had this idea that I would be like on the show, and I would be like a love interest of Richie Dollars.
Okay.
And yeah, I would just like this whole idea, like this girl from Canada comes down, Richie Dollars' girlfriend, and then kind of like lead the story from there.
Yeah.
But I filmed a few days and it didn't really work out. Like,
Okay.
it just, me and him just didn't get along at all.
Yeah. So
we just don't get along. It's like oil and water.
wow. So they basically set up the scenario, or they say, hey, this is a scenario that we think you'd be cool in. Why don't you come down to Miami, LA, or wherever they're filming and do that. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Reality
it was
TV,
great for
eh?
the experience because, like, you know, even after shooting the Only in the Six series, it was like, okay, I felt like I had, like, you know, a little test drive in, like, the reality show business. And then, you know, I was going there already, but then it was like, it was completely different too over there, right? But it was great for the experience just to say, like, I did it. Like, they did call me back a second time after that.
Okay.
And I didn't proceed with that. But now, as I think about it, you know, maybe in the near future, I'll do a reality show series just to help with my music career. And, you know, it'd be something good, like, just to put my music out and stuff, you know?
Oh, for sure. For sure. And even, like, with this whole, like, media and reality TV and all this stuff, right? There was a space of time that you were, like, all over the tabloids and stuff like that. Okay? And, like, there was people coming at you. You had TMZ, all these different people coming at you. What emotions were going through you when this time was happening?
I was worried, like, my son's going to see this. I was worried my mom's going to see this, my family. Like, what are they going to think of me? It just came all of a sudden because I didn't expect it. Like, I was just as surprised as everybody because it wasn't like I didn't put it out there like that, you know?
Yeah.
But when it did happen, I was just shocked. I was just worried, like, who's going to see it? And what are people going to think of me? Which I shouldn't care what people think of me, but it was just like, it was just so random, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And my mom, like, found out. And my mom doesn't find out nothing. So if my mom could find out stuff like that, it's like, ooh, I'm living a spicy life.
Yeah. And even like now, like listening to music and stuff like that, right? How does it feel when you hear new music and stuff like that? Like, especially with new projects and stuff out there. How do you?
Pardon?
When you hear new music, how do you feel when you hear new music, going through something with somebody in such a controversial way? Especially with new music out.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't really understand that. Like
do you when you take in the new, like, because when the new music pops, it's all over the place.
like just music in general?
No, the new music from the person that you had issues with during that time.
Oh, okay, that's what I knew you were getting at. But I'm like, let me just.
That's where I'm at. Like,
oh, his music is dope.
Yeah, like, but you hear new shit. Like, how do you feel when you hear the new shit? You're just like,
I don't feel like any type of way. It just sucks that me and him don't have that relationship as cool anymore. That's what I miss out on the most because, like, there was no understanding after that point.
Yeah.
It was just like, he doesn't know who to trust, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, there goes that relationship, there goes that friendship, you know. But all the best to him, you know. I love his music. Nothing changes after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, his music is dope. He's good at what he does.
No, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. With the whole way that everything's been going down in the media these days, with like Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey had issues, all these different guys, right? The whole Me Too, the Time's Up movement. Have you ever, as an attractive woman, okay, have you ever been in a Me Too situation?
Yeah, of course. Too many times.
So what does that look
Many
like?
times.
Like, give me one of your situations. Like,
Well, I'm going to think of one. For instance, like, as an artist, like, even as an artist now, like, I would want to get some studio time somewhere, and the producer would try to, like, throw signs like, hey, like, you know, you can come and record music here, but, you know, you got to wear something nice for me. Wear something nice for you. And, you know, I'm going to charge you this much, but, like, if you want some free time, you got to do this for me.
okay.
And so that already turns me off the bat, because it's just like, you want something from me.
Yeah.
Or so I'm already uncomfortable off the bat, you know. And then if it's not like a situation like that, I could be in the studio and the producer could try to get on to me. I'm not saying like this is all producers, but I've just been in a situation with that, you know. That's why I just like to stick with my one or two people that I work with. I'm not really just like hopping from studio to studio.
Yeah.
I majority record all my music with J Mac. He's out of Toronto.
Shout out J Mac.
Shout out J Mac, because I love him to pieces. He's like my bestie. And yeah, like, mostly I just trust him, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like other producers that I work with, they'll send me beats, and that's it. And then I'll just record out of his studio, because a lot of these guys, they be fresh, they be acting fresh.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
And that's just like the music industry. You want to get somewhere, like, you know, I can be your manager, but you gotta make sure you take care of me.
Slimy
Take care of
shit.
you how?
Yeah.
I don't want to take care of you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another apology on the behalf of men. Okay. Let's switch gears.
Gosh, yeah.
Like, we're all here in the 6, right? And over the summer, we've had a crazy ass summer. Hella gun violence. Okay. What do you think that we can do as a city, or the city, you know, and the powers that be, to bring down some of the gun violence that's happened for 2019, let's say? Because 2018, we've had like about 83 so far. And we're like maybe a few months before the end of the year. What do you think that we can do to bring down the gun violence?
Bring down the gun violence. Stop having gang beefs, and the music stuff too. Just the music alone. Like, a lot of Toronto hip hop music is like gang related. You know, I think, okay, don't take my advice, but I'm just saying something randomly. I think if Toronto rappers made more friendlier music, then we would have a more peaceful city, less rap beef, more love.
Yeah.
And like, as for the gang like stuff, like I know it's hard, because it's like, when you're from the hood, like, you see a lot of shit in the hood, and it's like, you feel like you need to be protected, like, you know. So it's not even that people have like guns because they want to shoot them and kill people. It's because like, it's more so for protection, you know. You don't know, right? But
it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't say like people need to cut back on the guns per se, but it's just like the killings. There's too much killings on in the city. Like, I don't know like how we can make it better. People don't know how to act orderly in public. You can't even go to a club right now without worrying, like, I'm gonna go to a hip-hop club and I'm gonna worry he's gonna get shot up.
Yeah.
Because somebody's gonna see somebody they don't like, and they're just gonna pop off.
Yeah.
I personally don't even go out because I'm scared.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, you never know who's gonna pop up or what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But to cut it back, I don't know. I don't really have the right answer. Just more love in hip hop music.
Yeah. More love. Yeah. More love, period.
You know?
Last couple questions. You got your new track. Tell me about the new track that you have out right now.
Oh, yes. I have a new track. It's called Run It Up.
If you getting money, come fuck it up. I bet $1 million they fuck with me. All of this ass with a double D. I make your man do some funny stuff. And if he try anything funny, my homies give him.
It's a ladies' anthem. It's supposed to be like a boss bitch type of song, you know, to boss up on niggas. And it's really repetitive, and it's a club banger.
Okay. You got the video I was seeing off camera that's going to be dropping, or maybe by the time this interview is out, the video is going to be out. So tell me about that video and how that came together.
Okay, so I want to shout out Prince Media Beats. He's my director alongside Enterprise Biz. I met them initially through my girlfriend Bella Banks.
Okay, shout out Bella Banks.
Yeah, shout out Bella Banks. I love her to pieces. I met them at her video shoot. She was shooting her video, and I just liked their style of shooting, and I'm just like, this is really dope. Like, we should do something together. I have this video this song I want to shoot a video for. And then they were like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I shot the video like about a month later, and I shot it in Toronto, different locations in Toronto. I shot some during Caribana weekend. So I have some clips from when I was hosting a couple events there and stuff. So it's really fun. It's a really fun, upbeat party track.
Nice.
And it's all about the love, not the hate.
Spread the love.
Spread the love.
Spread the love. That's the theme of this interview, I'm noticing. Last question.
Yeah.
If you can see yourself 10 years from now, who is Paris Richards going to be?
I see myself 10 years down the road as a like more of like my brand. I see myself as a brand.
Mm-hmm.
I see myself, you know, of course, as an entrepreneur. I like working for myself. I see myself more established in my music, my brand, and like everything I do. I definitely see myself retired as a stripper. I will not be dancing 10 years from now. And yeah, just pretty much that.
Dope. Well, thanks for coming in. Thanks for sharing with us.
I appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? Paris Richards, yeah. 6 views.